With over 300 cases of suicide attempts recorded in the Commerce region since 2018, Katutura State Hospital Chief Social Worker Reginald Ndokotola said that there are suicide myths like people who attempt suicide are weak or people who are suicidal do not seek help, which she dubs as false perceptions.
We've had more than 300 people just in Commerce alone treated for attempted suicide at Katutura Hospital. Now looking at our population, even at Commerce population, that's a big number. And so suicide is more prevalent than people think. As much as 300 patients treated is a big number. You need to remember that that's not the whole number of people who have attempted suicide, because this number doesn't include people that did not come to the hospital. Is because of substance use. There's an increase in the use of substances. This means drugs, alcohol, and other substances that people might consume that alters mood and brain chemicals. So it's very important that people realize the effect of substance abuse. We know there are lots of myths out there about and judgment towards people that attempt suicide or people with mental illnesses. One of the more prevailing one is that people who commit suicide are weak. This is such a myth, and it's so discouraging to people who want to seek help.
Psychologist Nashya Dunaiski said that technology has forced us to isolate ourselves and is organizing a walk for mental health awareness that will take place on the 2nd of November from Auspannplatz Snyman Circle to Zoo Park.
I think in this day and age where we have technology advancing so quickly, we are actually at high risk of mental illness, depression, anxiety. I think we live in a very hyper-competitive society. Everybody wants the latest this, latest that. Everybody wants to be successful, and everybody sees how successful other people are because of social media. So this sort of gives people anxiety, sort of gives that pressure to be better, be good, be the best they can be, or strive to perfection, in my opinion. So I think we are at very high risk at this time in our lives, especially with the high unemployment rate and how graduates are not getting jobs that easily. I have so many friends who are graduates, but they're just struggling to get an interview. And I think that plays a toll on someone's mental health, rather.
Ndokotola added that people who are suicidal speaks in an indirect language that many people fail to understand.
If anyone feels depressed or they feel a shift in their moods, or sometimes we sense something is not okay, like you're not sleeping well, you feel tired all the time, or just any of the symptoms where you feel, okay, I'm not feeling my usual self, go see your doctor. Go see the doctor, visit a health facility, and just explain your symptoms. Because one thing that we have discovered is that before a person gets to the stage of feeling suicidal, there were signs and symptoms, especially physical signs and symptoms. Bad moods and just not feeling like you want to join your friends for a party. There is always a physical symptom. Suicide is not something that just out of the blue, the person attempts suicide. Confused thoughts, any of those symptoms, please visit your doctor or the nearest health facility. The other thing is, if a loved one confides in you, I feel suicidal, or I feel like taking my own life, or life is not worth it. Any of that speech that indicates that the person might not be. Because you have to remember that sometimes people are not explicit in saying, I want to kill myself. They might use other languages, other words, and say, okay, life is a waste of time, and so forth. Take it seriously. Do not turn it into a joke.
Other myths include people who attempt suicide and survive won't try it again, and untreated depression and negative life experiences are the leading causes of suicide.